Pet Slime saving Cosmo. Caught you. The past 2 days were the weirdest of my life. That ended with me sitting in a cell with my space traveling grandma, my old enemy Clara, who is now my best friend, and my pet slime, of course. Yes, I had a pet who is made of slime. Cosmo was made out of normal slime plus paint, and an artist after all. But it was until some dust fell on him that he came alive. Well, not just any dust, space dust. And space dust was also the reason we were stuck in that cell. This super evil protocol called Malak kidnapped Grandma Sadie and detained the dust back. But they didn't know I had already used it, so we'd had no choice but to save Grandma Sadie ourselves. We'd had a brilliant plan. Well, maybe we'd had exactly had a plan, but we had Cosmo, who is not only cute and cuddly, he's also magical. We flattened into a pancake and snuck under the door at Malak's headquarters. He picked Grandma Sadie's cell lock. It looked like Cosmo was going to save us all until we heard a voice behind us yell, "Caught you!" It was Clara, Uncle Ricky's. It was Clara's Uncle Ricky, who worked at Malak. That's when we knew we must be evil too. "Uncle Ricky, what are you doing?" Clara asked. She couldn't believe her uncle was one of the bad guys. Uncle Ricky looked at us for a second. I could tell he was thinking something through. I could also tell that he hadn't noticed Cosmo. Finally, Uncle Ricky's face shifted into a smile. He leaned towards Clara and quietly whispered, "Shh, I had pretended to be on their side, but until I can help you all escape." Clara looked smug and turned to me and Cosmo. "See, Pipper," Clara said. "I told you he wasn't a bad guy. No one in my family could ever be evil." I looked over at Grandma Sadie. She seemed revealed too. Ricky braced on. "Phew, you had me scared for a second there," Grandma Sadie said. "I've always heard such good things about you in the science community. It would be a shame if you had gone bad." Uncle Ricky laughed, really laughed a bit more. Then I saw nearly. It made me nervous. It looked down at Cosmo. He looked like normal ball of slime. Cosmo didn't come alive for Uncle Ricky. Did Cosmo know something we didn't? Cosmo also hadn't come alive for my parents, but I thought that just being shy. I wondered why he was being shy. How? What's the plan? What's the plan, Ricky? "I'm so glad to be out of that cell," Grandma Sadie said. "I bet you had the best plan, right, Uncle Ricky?" Claire said. Uncle Ricky looked around, making sure no one could hear a secret door in cell 9. It leads to an underground escape tunnel. Do you have any plans that don't involve me doing back into a cell?" Grandma Sadie asked. "It was so bored. You're in cell 8. Cell 9 is much nicer, Uncle Ricky said with a huge smile. Uncle Ricky started to tippy-toe down the hallway, one hand on Clara's head and the other rolling her scooter for her. I walked behind them, my arms wrapped tightly around Cosmo. Come on, Cosmo, tell me what to do, I thought. He turned a corner and was a big camera hanging from the ceiling. Ah, yes, prisoners. Here we are. You won't be getting out again, Uncle Ricky said loudly, his face toward the camera. He turned back and winked at us. Uncle Ricky unlocked the cell, and I found out he was telling the truth about at least one thing. Cell 9 was definitely nicer than Cell 8. It has a white table, a white sofa, white chairs, and white walls. It was as if someone had dipped the entire room in a can of white paint. Actually, it looked like my dentist's office, only there was no bowl of stickers or giant smiling tooth cartoon on the wall. It made me wish I had my paint set, or better yet, a bunch of paint bucket like Jackson Pollock us. Jackson Pollock became famous for his paintings, but he didn't use a brush. Instead, he would throw, splash, and pour his paint. The final work were layered and layered, splattered and twirled, all in different colors. They called it abstract art because it didn't look like anything other than a whole lot of fun to make. I looked around the cell and noticed a camera on the wall. There were cameras everywhere. Uncle Ricky saw me looking at it. He winked, which is a cool grown-up thing I haven't figured out how to do, and he blocked the camera view with his body. Uncle Ricky leaned in and whispered, "Okay, see that button on the wall?" He pointed to a corner of the cell. Sure enough, it was a white button, and around the button you could see the faint outline of a small square door. That button opened the door to a secret tunnel, Uncle Ricky whispered. You need to press it for 10 seconds, but not yet. Wait for 9. Wait for 9, when most of the staff has gone home. If the staff is home, you can sneak us out of the regular door. That tunnel looks kind of small, I said. We can manage. I go through opening that small on the spaceship all the time, said Grandma Sadie. Have I mentioned that? My grandma is the coolest because my grandma is the coolest. She's been to space more times than most people. Have been on a plane. There are guards that extol all night, but the guards in the motor room always fall asleep. After he eats his dinner, the tunnel will be safer, but only if you wait until night, Uncle Ricky said. There's no window or clock. How are we going to know when it's night? I asked. NP, said Clara. Looked down at her phone. That means no problem. Battery ran out, and then she looked happy again. Oh, I have an idea. How about you use a secret knock on the door when it's time? Clara walked over and knocked on the back of the cell door. 2 long taps and 3 fast taps. A little louder. Tap, 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 tap. Uncle Ricky's face fell. Where did you learn that knock? My dad taught it to me, Clara breamed. My brother and I used that knock for our secret clubhouse when we're kids. Uncle Ricky said, looking down at the floor. Great, you already know it, Clara said. Uncle Ricky almost looked like he might cry, which was really strange. He turned his back to leave. I looked down and noticed that as Uncle Ricky walked away, Cosmo came back to life. Thank you so much, Ricky, Grandma Sadie said. I'm glad you're in our side. You're a good guy. Yes, yes, I am, Uncle Ricky said. He closed the door with a loud click. That was followed by a softer click as the lock slid into place. I looked down at Cosmo. His normal sparkly purple had turned a bright yellow. Cosmo is yellow, I exclaimed, worrying. I held him up for Grandma, Sadie, and Clara to see. They both looked at me blankly. Cosmo was back to his normal, cute purple color. Huh? Well, he was yellow, I said, scratching my head, trying to tell us something. It's okay, Pip squeaked. It's been a stressful day, Grandma Sadie said. I sat down on the white floor and hugged Cosmo tight. Grandma Sadie inspected the room while Clara scooted back and forth in 10 feet of space. It seems like there are actually 2 cameras in here. One and one there, Grandma Sadie whispered, tilting her head towards opposite corners of the room. We'll have to be careful about that. We do, and what we say until Ricky gives us a signal. My stomach felt funny. Are you sure he's going to help us? I finally asked. Clara scoffed. Of course he is. Like my only uncle would keep me in a cell, huh? I trust Ricky, Pipper, and he is Clara's uncle. Grandma Sadie said, I just wish I'd known he was around earlier so I could have asked her some domino to pass the time. Less than a minute later, we heard a big cat crow. Someone was opening the door. Were no secret knock. We all huddled together, and I felt Cosmo giving me a hug before he turned back into normal slime. Hey, no. Hey ho, Uncle Ricky said as he popped his head into the cell. I thought you might want some things to keep your entire. In this hand were no board game that I could count. He put them all down on the white table. Yes, said Clara, inspecting the game. Checkers, backgammon, a bag of marble, pommery, pyro, and jigsaw puzzle for a cute cat. And these are for you, Sadie. For you, Sadie, Uncle Ricky said, and handed Grandma a brand new box of dominoes. That's so sweet. You, Ricky, Grandma, Sadie said, taking the dominoes with a big smile. I meant to ask before, had you seen Eric, who was helping me? But I haven't seen him in a while. Oh yeah, Eric, Uncle Ricky said. He went on break in my hand. I felt Cosmo come alive. I looked down, and he was bright yellow again. This time, Grandma Sadie noticed I could see in her eyes, but she didn't say anything. I had one more surprise, Uncle Ricky said. He ducked through the door, and when he came back, he was holding a tray. On the tray were glasses of milk and fresh brownies. They smelled delicious. My hands. Cosmo turned back to purple. Maybe Uncle Ricky wasn't a bad guy after all. See? Clara whispered, her mouth full of brownie. I told you my uncle was a good guy. Pippa was worried. You weren't really trying to save us? Pippa was worried you weren't really trying to save us. Of course I am, Uncle Ricky whispered back. Grandma Sadie looked me straight in the eye and then flicked her eyes down towards my hand. Then I looked down at Cosmo. I saw he was yellow again. Bye, Uncle Ricky, Clara said as he started to look the door. Don't forget our secret knock, she added in. I whispered. Couldn't if I try, Uncle Ricky said as the door clinked shut. As soon as he was gone, Grandma Sadie held her hand in front of her mouth so the people watching the camera could see her peeking. Girls, she whispered, I think we're in trouble. Cosmo's new power. Grandma Sadie bent down and put her face right next to Cosmo. Hi, Cosmo. I love soda, she said. That made me laugh. No, you don't. You always say I tickle your nose, and it's super bad for you anyways. I stopped my sentence short. Cosmo had turned yellow. Whoa, you were right. He's yellow. I hope he's not sick. Kara had feeling his little forehead to see if he had a fever. If he had a fever, I think we just discovered another one of Cosmo's powers, said Grandma Sadie. Huh? Clara said something that's true. Clara, how about you tell me how much you like your scooter? Grandma Sadie said. I love my scooter. It's the best scooter. It's really fast enough without Cosmo's slipping. Whoa, Clara cut herself off. Cosmo had turned back to purple. Is lying, he said. That was not possible, Clara said. I'll try it. I don't like making art at all. I lie. Cosmo turned yellow. Now say something true, Grandma Sadie said. I want to be a professional artist when I grow up, I said. Cosmo's slime returned to its usual sparkly purple. That's so cool, Clara exclaimed. But remember the first time he turned yellow? I asked. Grandma Sadie nodded and gave me a hug. I do, Pipsqueak. I do. Clara put another brownie in her mouth. You lost me there, she said, between chews. It was then your uncle said was going to help us, I said. I think he may be lying. I felt bad making Clara sad. She was my best friend. After Cosmo and Grandma Sadie, of course, she stopped chewing and her face got red. That's not true. No one in my family would be that awful, Clara said, looking away. You'll see when that door opened. Clara pointed towards the secret button her uncle had told us about. I could tell the gears were turning in her head. She ran over to the wall and pressed it. We'll all wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Clara counted all the way to 15. Nothing happened there. No secret door. Uncle Ricky had definitely lied. Cosmo reached out to Clara. I handed him to her and hugged her. She buried her face in his squishy body. We're going to be stuck here forever, she said. It's okay, Clara. We'll get out of this. Cosmo will flatten himself down and sneak under the door again. He'll pick the lock. You'll be safe at home in no time, and then we can tell the police that Malal was being up to. Right then, a voice came over in a peaker, and we all jumped in surprise. It was a voice we all knew. Settle down, Clara. I'm really not one of the bad guys. Not really. Uncle Ricky's voice was distorted by the speaker. It was definitely him, and he was definitely one of the bad guys. You were never supposed to get mixed up in this, Uncle Ricky continued. This isn't about you. It's about the space dust. If your friend would just hand it over. Then Uncle Ricky's voice was interrupted by another voice. I recognized a much scarier one. It was the triangular-haired lady, Doreen. She was the first scary Malay employee I had inquiring, and what she said made me shake my shoes. That slime, I just saw it move. It's alive. It just had absorbed the space dust. Go get it. The other prisoner. Quick, Cosmo. We need to get out of here. I yelled frantically, grabbing him from Clara's arm, but the Malay employees were too fast. The second the door opened, Cosmo turned back into a normal blob, losing all his powers. I held on to him as tight as I could, but there were too many of them. Two of them grabbed Grandma Sadie. Uncle Ricky picked up Clara. Someone grabbed me, and I saw hands reaching for Cosmo, but I couldn't let go. I had to be strong. I had to. I felt Cosmo slip from my fingers. No! I got it, Doreen. The man with the long gay goated yelled at Doreen. He exclaimed Cosmo and made a weird face. What is it? Gross. It was over before I had a chance to react. The door closed with a clank. Cosmo was gone. I started to cry. Clara pounded on the door and yelled, How dare you! And you call ourselves scientists. They heard it, a faint noise from the wall. It sounded like it was coming from another cell. Grandma, I think there's someone. In the next cell, I said. I heard it too. Eric, is that you? She yelled directly at the wall. The other replied, but it was too soft to hear. Grandma Sadie ran to the table and picked up 2 glasses of milk. She held them out to Clara and me. Quick, drink these, Grandma Sadie said. Yeah, those meanies think they can steal Cosmo and my scooter. They're going to drink this milk and get super buff and break out of here, Clara said. Then drink this milk and get super buff and break out of here, Clara said. Then drink her milk in a single grip. I just held mine while Grandma Sadie grabbed the third glass and drank it quickly. I don't understand, I said slowly, wiping away my tears. Done, Clara said. Grandma Sadie placed the open end of her empty glasses against the wall and put her ear against the bottom of the glass. What are you doing? Asked Clara. A glass can help amplifies a sound. When I press my ear against it, the sounds seem louder, and it's easier to understand, Grandma Sadie exclaimed. Whoa, cool. I want to try too. Clara put her glass against the wall and leaned to listen. It was too sad to drink milk or eat brownies or do anything ever again. I had lost Cosmo. Eric, is that you? Grandma Sadie yelled. At the wall, I heard a muffled noise. Oh no! Are you being punished for helping me? Grandma Sadie yelled back. There was some more muffled speaking yes. They took my granddaughter's pet Cosmo and my scooter, interrupted Clara. It was weird to hear only one side of the conversation, but my heart was too broken to care until Grandma said something that got my attention. You know where they took Cosmo? Cosmo? I drank my milk quickly and put my glass against the wall. They had a special lab where they test anything related to the space dash. This lab Q is on the second floor near the quadrupole core, Eric said. His voice was faint, but it was clear enough to understand. That regrettable core. Weird, said Clara. My mind started to racing. We had to get the second floor. I was developing and playing. I grabbed a 100 bill from the Molly's box and started to fold it. Grandma Sadie noticed. You're okay, Pipsqueak? She asked. More than okay. I have a plan, I replied. What's Pipper's plan? Find out in my Slime Pet Saving Cosmo, Book 8.